the Universalist Church, in which love is the Spirit. We're glad you're here, whether you're here in the sanctuary today or anywhere in the world. I'm Nancy Gennett, one of your representatives on the Board of Trustees. If you are a visitor, we hope you'll sign our guest book or visit our webpage, www.westhartforduu.org, to learn more. There you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list. Our electronic communications are the best way for us to stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. We're in an in-between pandemic moment. The risk of severe illness is considered low, but COVID transmission has bounced up again. Given the transmissibility of this variant, we encourage everyone to wear a high-quality mask. We have them available if you need one at the rear of the sanctuary. Please remember that masks are required for any unvaccinated people over 2 years old. After worship, we'll have time for fellowship and fifth call and through Zoom just before our annual meeting. We do need a quorum, so we need every member to attend in person or through Zoom. You can find the link for that in your weekly news or on the Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please sign up for it on our website. And now I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phones silent, turn off your email, and put away your keyboards and settle in for worship.
If you are at home and have your chalice there ready to go, I invite you to light yours as I light ours here in the sanctuary. On this unusually warm weekend, I am thrilled to see that so many of you stayed home, and I am also thrilled to see those of you who are here. It is a fine balance trying to keep this room not too hot without air conditioning. By a miracle, it is actually cooler in here than it is outside, which is why the windows are still closed. It's hard to miss a day like this because it is our new member welcoming Sunday. It is our annual meeting. This is a moment where we celebrate the congregation that we are and where we also hope to keep everybody healthy and safe and participating. So, if you are at home, please do remember to log in through Zoom for our annual meeting. And if you are here, please stick around or run right home and get on Zoom because we do need you for the annual meeting. We light our chalice today, hoping that we will discover the spirit of life within ourselves, in one another, and in the whole of the world. We strive to find the worth and dignity of all that is around us, and that we strive also to cherish, preserve, and strengthen it. Together, we may fix the broken, save the endangered, befriend the lonely, heal the wounded, comfort the sad, raise up the oppressed, and celebrate with the joyful. Our opening hymn is number 368 in the gray hymnal. Please rise in body or in spirit, in the sanctuary or wherever you are, as we sing together.
Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the joy within.
And please, join me in speaking the words of our affirmation. It's our covenant, and it's printed in your order of service and in the description online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
You know, days like today are the only times that I'm terrified of public speaking. And the reason for that goes back many years to a fourth grade choir performance at Webster Hill School during the Grandparents' Day Assembly, where under the bright lights on the risers, I fainted. I was okay, but whew, that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a journey of the Byrds. It's a story from an ancient Sufi Muslim poem, and it's in one of our elementary school curriculum called Signs of Our Faith. Once upon a time, all the birds in the land decided they needed a leader for their community. A leader, they thought, would make their community stronger. Representatives of all the bird species gathered to discuss finding a leader. A leader will tell us the right things to do, said the robin. Our leader must be wise, said the owl. A leader must believe we are each important, big and small, said the sparrow. I want our leader to be caring, like a friend, said the dove. Yes, and the leader should help us share and get along better, said the jay. And the hawk said, the leader must make us feel safe. Well, I know where you can find such a leader, said the hoopoe bird. It's the Simorg, and he lives far away from here. Well, the birds got very excited to hear this. They said they were willing to go anywhere to find such a leader. It might be dangerous, said the hoopoe. A few birds looked troubled, but all the birds voted to go find the Simorg. The hoopoe took off, and all the birds followed. They flew at night. They flew in sunshine. Days and days passed. Some birds got tired and left the group. Other birds were filled with doubt. How did they know the Simorg really existed? Only the hoopoe had ever even heard of this bird. Some of the doubters dropped out, but the others kept flying. One valley was filled with fiery mountains, and all the birds were afraid. I'm too small to make it over that mountain, lamented the sparrow. Nope, keep flying, we can make it together. We will all help you. And they did. The strong flyers helped the weaker flyers. The birds with good vision helped find food for the group. And along the journey, the birds learned how to better respect, share, and care for each other. It seemed that every bird had something special and unique to offer that made the journey easier. Finally, the hoopoe announced, "We're here!" The other birds looked around in anticipation. "Where's this Simorg? We don't see it," they cried. "Well, come over here," said the hoopoe, and the birds stood beside the hoopoe, and they realized that they were on the edge of a lake, and they looked in and saw their own reflections, and then they understood. The Simorg was not another bird. It was one of them, and all of them. They remembered that each of them had something good and strong and special inside of them, and that each bird had gifts to bring to the community. They were all that was needed to keep the community strong. They knew now that together they could do anything. Would you help me send the children out? We're going to go sweat somewhere else.
Everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you. Everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We are grateful for all the ways in which you support us and one another. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this community, you help us serve the members, friends, and wider community of this congregation. And so as part of that service, we split our general offering each week with organizations that do work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating beloved community. This month, we share our offering with the Fern Street Food Ministry's Walk Against Hunger campaign. Our food ministry offers 5 different programs, and none of them rely on the church for their funding. The support of volunteers, community partners, and donations from within and beyond the congregation help keep these programs going and members of our community fed. The Walk Against Hunger is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the food ministry, but a portion of that walk also goes to support our major partner in this work, Connecticut Foodshare. So this month, our sharing goes even further than usual, helping to support 2 organizations that help keep the hungry fed. To give electronically, please use the QR codes on your order of service or the links in the description or on our website. And here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received. For these gifts and so many more, so generously given, thank you. Thank you.
Our first reading is in the Gray Hymnal number 733. I will read the words in Roman type, and you will read the words in italics. Please stand. Thank you, Paul. Out of wood and stone, out of dreams and sacrifice, the people build a home. Out of the work of their hands and hearts and minds, the people fashion a symbol and a reality.
Make this house be truly a place of meeting, meeting one with another in warmth and joy and openness, meeting one with another in courage and love and trust.
May all who enter here trust one another so surely that they dare to share the deep fires that burst into anger as much as the sweet spring waters that swell into laughter, the slow erosion of wounded tears as much as the soaring song.
May these walls know silence as 100 hearts search inward, each for its own small spark of hope that might otherwise be snuffed out in the noise.
May these rafters hear the voice of the child as surely as that of the orator, and the sound of the lute and the clack of the typewriter, the swish of the broom, and know that all are as holy as the shout of 1,000,000 stars.
May the rain fall lightly on this house, the sun shine warmly, the winds blow softly, and bless it as a place of joy and peace.
Let's join in singing our doxology. It's in your order of service.
Truth that makes us free. Amen.
Please be seated. As we begin our time of prayer and meditation today, I ask, as always, that we keep the people and the nation of Ukraine in our hearts and minds, but also the places elsewhere in the world where there is unrest, discomfort, strife, and struggle. That we keep, too, our own nation in our thoughts and in our prayers, and most certainly in our actions. Let us be part of the solution to creating a better world here, in this community, and in our state, and in our nation. That we can undo and dismantle the harms that have been a part of our country for far too long. I am glad to share that at least a couple of people have moved out of their hospital beds and back home. I'm glad to see Jim G. back in the sanctuary again. And Sophie E. is moving to a rehab facility that will help better with her recovery needs and will allow for our pastoral care assistant, the Reverend Joy Christie, to visit very regularly and to be in contact with the family, if not daily, more than a couple of times a week. I am very grateful for the kindness that you have shown to Sophie as she recovers from the hit-and-run accident that she had. I would ask you to join me in a moment of prayer. We pray with words adapted from the Reverend Victoria Weinstein. The church is a body. May this body breathe and be together in the spirit of hope. May it feel held in comfort. For those who seek consolation, may we find it in the solace of this moment. The church is a body. It is as strong as all those who have ever gathered within its walls, and now those who join us from beyond, too. This body's power is all that they have dreamed, all that they have done. This church is a body. It is as vulnerable as the most newborn and untried of its members. It is ancient, and it is ever new. This church is a body filled with stories, lives that are interwoven, brought together in this place and this time for the simple purpose of caring for one another and for our wider world, helping one another along the arduous path from birth to death. This church is a body that holds a vision of unity amidst diversity, a vision of reverence for all creation, a vision that beckons us beyond the concerns of our own skins. This church is a body. And in our bodies, let us abide within the spirit of faith and hope and love that is the story and the vision and the life of this congregation. Let us take a moment in stillness together. within this congregation, let us hold strongly to that vision of unity amongst diversity, reverence for all of creation, something that beckons us beyond our own concerns so that we may be present with and for one another, that we can make this world, beloved community, a better, more loving place, within a spirit of faith and hope and love that is the story and the vision of this congregation as well. May it be so. Amen. It being New Member Sunday, it seems appropriate to ask, what in the world is it to be a member? What is it? Why do we do this thing? Why do we commit ourselves to something that is beyond our normal daily lives? Well, usually it's because there is something profound about gathering with one another in support, in love, in celebration, in determination to make the world something better than it is right now. Certainly, coming to worship and participating in the life of the congregation is an important part of membership. It's hard to really feel like you're a member or to contribute in any way that is substantial without finding ways to participate. But we also have a legal definition. A member of the religious organization known as the Universalist Church of West Hartford is someone who has attended membership orientation, made a financial contribution or pledge, or talked with me about making other arrangements as needed, and then signed the membership book. Signing the membership book is like adding your name to our covenant. It is saying, yes, this is the community that I want to be encouraged by, to be shaped by. These are the words and ideas that I want to live within. So therefore, a member of the congregation is someone who has looked at our values, our actions in the world, our statements about how we will be with one another, and said, yes, I want to be part of a congregation that lives in this way and acts in this way, that loves and supports one another in this way. So it's not just a signature that you join with, and it's not just your time and talents and treasure, as we often say. You join with your heart and your spirit as well. You realize that you are here out of a desire for companionship on the religious journey, out of compassion and hope for yourself and for others. Hopefully, you are here to have your heart opened as much as your mind. You're here to receive what good can sustain you, but you are also here to give what good will sustain us all. Now, congregational life is imperfect. I will say this congregation is much closer to perfect than most of the other ones I've ever been in my life. Y'all are pretty impressive. Yeah, indeed, yes, exactly, right? Whew. And congregational life is imperfect. We disappoint one another. I will disappoint you now and then, hopefully not too often, but I promise it will happen. We discover that things are not as we want them to be sometimes. We discover and we realize that volunteer time and energy and staff time and energy are precious and limited. Some things take longer to achieve than we hope, and sometimes we miss things and forget things, especially as we're learning to redo them again after the pandemic. And in those moments, the responsibilities of membership become even more clear. When we discover disappointments and gaps, it's time for each of us to step into those places asking, hey, did you notice this? Or, how might we think about this differently? How might we try this in a new way? And most especially, whether you are a member or a staff person or even a dedicated friend, maybe the next thing to ask is, how can I help? Every Sunday, we say, love is the spirit of this church and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. If nowhere else, on Sunday mornings, this is where we acknowledge the responsibilities of membership and the privileges, too. In this place, we have the privilege to listen and to think for ourselves. I do not expect you to agree with everything that I say from the chancel. I mean, it would be delightful if you did, but that's not how it works. That's not what we expect from Unitarian Universalists. We expect more questions than answers, more discussion than easy acceptance. We also have the privilege to be involved, to be heard, to speak with one another, and the church leadership and the staff and the minister when we have concerns or ideas or hopes. We have the privilege of choosing where and how we will come together to remind ourselves of that which is beyond our daily view, that which calls us into love. What I think of as the sacred acts of compassion and graciousness and justice. In a membership that includes the mind and the heart, we welcome one another into a community that celebrates together and grieves together, strives together, fails together, and gets back up and tries again together. We are welcoming one another into a community, into a congregation that invites us to sit in new places in the sanctuary when our normal one has been taken by somebody we haven't met yet. Whether that's a Sunday morning service or metaphorically in all parts of our lives. So I encourage you, whether you are a long-time member of this congregation or a new one, bring your whole self into membership here. Your mind, your heart, your body, and your actions, and most especially your spirit. Your name in the book, your reason and your intuition, the wholeness of who you are. It is welcome here. And now we will celebrate our new members. I'd like to invite Nancy Gennett to come up to the lectern. Leslie, why don't you come on up too?
In this moment, we celebrate those who have made the commitment of membership in the Universalist Church by attending Sunday services, pledging of their time, talents, and treasure, and affirming the pledge by signing the membership book. In this moment, we welcome our newest members into the community. We acknowledge your commitment not just through your actions, but also by seeing you, by speaking with you, by knowing who you are by name. New members, please come forward and bring your orders of service as Leslie reads your names.
Jana Byrd, Sophie Michaela Emelson, Sarah Faulkner, Jan Fontanella, Kate and Tom Gervais, Sally Hojnowski, Mary Ann Mulholland, Joan and John Nicole Sneft, Joy Rothschild, Kylene Thompson, Kristen Phillips and Matt Schreck, David Gonsi, Carol Stiff, Beth Brigham, Russ Hanneman, Stephen and Liz Kendrick, Ian Bell, Sarah Garudi, Susan Jane Stam, Alyssa Hawn, and Kathleen Riley. Let me ask, is there anyone here who has fulfilled the requirements of membership and hasn't been recognized as a new member before? Because between the pandemic and staff and volunteer changes, there have been lots of changes, and we want to make sure we catch everybody that we can.
Thank you, new members. Welcome.
Our second reading is number 444 in the back of the gray hymnal, please. I will read the words in Roman type, and as usual, you will read the words in italics.
And one addition, which is that those of you who are the new members will join with Joyce in leading the congregation in this. So you all, please also, will read the words in Roman type. I believe, actually, that we need
Some hymnals.
some hymnals for you. Thank you. Number 444.
This reading is called This House by Kenneth Patton. New members, are you ready to read with me? This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature.
It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle.
It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person.
It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring, both in times of security and danger, an undivided conflict of opinion.
It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers.
It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks.
It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress.
This house
is a cradle of our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for helping to lead worship today. You may be seated.
As I went down to the river
Obviously, a number of our new members who had intended to be here were wise, I think, and stayed home if they had air conditioning available there. Whether you are in this room or elsewhere, you are very, very welcome here. And now that you are a member, you are not just welcome here, but you are a welcomer. You are one of the people who is part of this congregation and now reaches out to those who have not yet become a part of this community. But you're also someone who has the ability to welcome those who have been here for a very, very long time. To be a member is to make this place your own. You are claiming membership and ownership of this place, its past, its present, and its future. You commit yourself to your own spiritual growth and to the possibilities that religious community offers. You commit yourself to the thriving of this community too, because this place is ours, for now. It was somebody else's a long time ago, and then it became somebody else's and somebody else's until it finally became yours and mine and ours. Each Sunday, we are welcoming people into the sanctuary, some of whom who have been here a lot, and some who have never set foot in this place before. And you now, as new members, you are part of the us that welcomes them. You have changed teams. You're not just the person being welcomed, you are now the person doing the welcoming. You are not just somebody for whom worship is given to you, but you are now somebody who has helped to lead worship. It may be that at some point you will look at somebody and say, "Welcome, it's so good to see you. Is this your first time here?" And you'll be talking to somebody who's been a member for 40 years. Everybody's done it. I've done it. It's mortifying, but it's a great way to start a conversation and to discover that there are people that you have not yet met who have something wonderful to share. It can be a daunting change to change teams, but it's a good change. It is a wonderful possibility and capability. It is a wonderful moment in which you can claim that this place is yours too. So take seriously, all of you, what it means to be a member here. Whether you've been here for 40 years or nearly 90, or just a couple of weeks. Consider what it would mean to make this commitment to yourself a commitment to everyone, to the wider world. And then know that you reaffirm that commitment every time you come back in, or log on, or send in a pledge, or answer a survey, or make a phone call to talk with me or someone else, or join in our Green Sanctuary or our food ministry or our social justice work. This place is ours for now. Let us make sure that we extend that so that it can become other people's too. You, new members, and you, medium-range members, and you, extremely long-term members. You are the people who keeps this chalice lit for us and for those who have yet to come through our doors for the very first time. It is a commitment worth making and worth keeping. Let us join together in singing our closing hymn. It's number 1018 in the blue hymnal, number 1018, Come and Go With Me. Please rise in body or in spirit.
To that land, come and go with
freedom in that land.
There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound.
There'll be justice in that land.
There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound.
There'll be singing in that land.
There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound.
Let us speak together the words of our unison benediction. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Please be seated. I'm going to ask you to remain for our postlude. And then, if you are coming to the annual meeting, what I'm going to ask you to do is have a few of you grab some of these fans, and we'll take them back to Fisk Hall so that we can keep things cool. And if you're not staying in person for the annual meeting, go home and join us on Zoom. We need a quorum today in order to do the business of the church, and so we need everybody's participation, whether you're at home or here. Please enjoy the postlude.